bar table, which is very, very good.
Yeah, fantastic. With some water.
So,
Oh, then I think I'll take this one then. I'll just, perfect,
do we
thank
have
you.
to?
Huh?
Do we have to turn anything on? No.
No, it goes automatically, I guess. Here I am.
All right. Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the innovation stage here at Independent Hotelschool Amsterdam. I can tell you, you made the perfect choice to be here this afternoon with us. We have a fantastic panel that will spark your interest and hopefully also new ideas on how AI is revolutionizing the hospitality industry. I am Alexander Schmidt. I'm a professor for technology innovation at Hotelschool The Hague. And what we do is that together with our industry partners, but also with academic partners, we are really exploring what the future holds in terms of technology innovation and how technology is shaping the future of our industry. And indeed, we have today 45 minutes, which will be a packed discussion on impact, use cases, but also lessons learned, how AI is shaking up the market and is setting new benchmarks. So I would like you to get ready for this inspiring journey, 45 minutes of inspiration. Get ready for a fantastic lineup of speakers, and get ready to experience some very cutting-edge use cases of how AI is revolutionizing hospitality. I would like to introduce our panel to you. We have with us Michiel de Voor. I hope that is pronounced correctly in Dutch. He's the co-founder and CEO of Runnr.ai, one of the hot startups at the moment that is really trying to shake up the industry with their AI-powered automation and guest communication channels. You have a remarkable career at Booking.com, from intern to global account manager, EMEA, I think that's what I read. And you're now entered the entrepreneurial stage, so to say. So very curious to hear about your experiences, how AI is setting new standards in our industry. Markus Mueller is with us today. You've just managed to travel from Germany and you circumvented the strikes there, I hope. Very, very happy to have you here. You're managing director of Gauvendi. You're basically an innovative inventory management system, so to say, that offers upselling opportunities and to make the distribution process, so to say, more innovative. You know them all, so to say, all the big brands you worked for. I listed Hyatt, Marriott, IHG, Mövenpick Hotels, so this man knows them all. Very happy to have you here and join our panel. And then we have Willem van Dijssel. You are the managing director of Q Hospitality Group. Over 40 years, we just talked about it, over 40 years of experience in the sector. So here we have really the experience in one person, so to say. Very happy to have you. You worked for listed companies, but he's also a very successful serial entrepreneur in the F&B space, but also other hospitality concepts. So I'm very happy that you joined. And you just told me that Willem-jan entered a new study program to actually get in the study seat again to really understand what the impact of artificial intelligence is. So I'm very curious to also learn from these very new insights today. All right, let's start the conversation. Well, I say latest since November 2022, when ChatGPT was launched by OpenAI. I think that was the big groundbreaking move in the end, why we are all talking so much about artificial intelligence. And when we think about, and we look back a bit in history, and I'm sure a lot of people in the audience know that, how long did it take for Facebook to get 100 million users? Any idea? What do you say? 10 years?
No,
it was 4 years to make it to 100 million users. For ChatGPT, 8 weeks. Okay, so the market diffusion is really, really fast. And that is also why, that's our interpretation, why also AI is gaining so much speed also in the discussions. I would like to start the discussion with the two guys over there. Why do you think, and what makes you so optimistic? Why are you a tech optimist when it comes to artificial intelligence, Michiel?
I think in the past, so we have been building the technology over the last couple of years using all the things that we already know. Now with AI, this is going to change everything because you can build new technology which was not happening over the last couple of years, right? So using AI has been very experimental over the last 10 years, let's say, and especially how you apply it in hotels, as an example. Experiences were so-so, right? If you ask a simple question, then it was okay. If you would ask a harder question, then it always breaks. That's going to change as we speak, right? It is already changed with OpenAI in here. And we all know OpenAI and GPT from, oh, can I ask a question? Can you write me a poem, etc., which is all very nice, right? But how do you apply it in a real life environment? In our case, that is an hotel on one hand. And secondly, it's more than only just text, right? So it can also make function calls, the AI. So it can say, oh, this is a question that goes about breakfast. So I need to call the function in the PMS about breakfast, and then we know if it is included or not. And if not, we offer an upsell. And these things are completely new, right? So you don't have to flyer anymore to all the guests, book breakfast, book breakfast, but you can be very precise with the right offer to the right guest at the right time. Mm-hmm. And that's happening as we speak.
Yeah, perfect. Markus, what is your perspective? Why are you a tech optimist?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm a tech optimist, but I think AI makes our lives a lot easier, right? I mean, I think we have to differentiate a lot as well. I mean, there's a lot of hype about this topic, and I think we have terms like generative AI, large language models, and so on, and we have to distinguish between the stuff, because AI is nothing new. If you think about it, if you talk to Google, because they're using it for 10 years, and we're using it, but they use now differently, and now they get a hype. But it's a tool which makes our life a lot easier. And that's absolutely true. You know, it's like, you know, when they invented the bicycle, it was a lot faster to get around, and then the car and so on. And that's AI for us as well. But it has its limitations because obviously, just as an example for large language models, you got to have the language. I mean, you got to have the data points. If you don't have the data points, then you can't use them, right? So it goes with data. The way how we use it, for example, as an example, you mentioned breakfast. You need to know that there is breakfast in the hotel. You need to know there's a room with a high floor and view to the ocean. All these are data points, and if they're not there, you can't use AI either, because well, what do you want with the data? I mean, you need the data in order to optimize it. And I think that's what we are doing, is creating a language for experiences, real estate experiences, and then using these data points and using AI to optimize customer experiences. And yes, that does a lot, because then you can personalize, and we call it hyper-personalization, because you couldn't do that physically on the phone. You need to have a lot more data points, and then you can hyper-personalize. I know stuff from a customer, I know stuff from the hotel, and a lot more, and then I can optimize the journey in any aspect, from purchase to checkout. Yeah.
So data points as the basis to create this new experiences. I think that is also what unites the two of you. What is your perspective on it? Also reflecting a bit maybe on your early learnings from the AI course. Are you an optimist or more a pessimist when it comes to AI entering the hospitality industry?
No, well, I'm not sure if it's somewhere in between, I guess. But it's true that a couple of years ago I started seeing what the influence of the various sort of the three main components of AI: machine learning, natural language processing, and robotics. And I thought it would be a gigantic shift for our industry. So I wanted to learn more about that. And then, as you said, I enrolled in MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and to learn about more the strategic business implications of AI. And what struck me in one of the first sort of courses, we had a partner of McKinsey presenting the impact of artificial intelligence on various industries. And I thought that the hospitality industry would be somewhere, let's say, in the middle or the last part of industry that would be revolutionized by AI. And actually, it is the #1 industry where impact is basically it is an industry where sort of experts feel that it will at some point reduce the workforce within the industry by 25%, which is obviously has massive implications for the industry, but also it enables this industry to really develop a data-driven culture and to improve the guest journey from every touch point there is.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm studying. Because at my old age, since I think this is a complete game changer for the industry. And that the industry is not really aware of it yet, apart from some of the innovators.
Yeah, true. And we will, that's a very nice bridge, but to the next topic that we want to discuss, how AI is shaping guest experience, but I don't want to cut you short. You want to comment on that?
Yeah, so to continue that, so why AI is working so well in hospitality is because AI can do lots of things, right? It can talk about all kinds of things. It can go well, it can hallucinate, it does crazy stuff. However, what the good thing is in the hotel industry is that you have a guest that makes a booking, gets to the hotel, has to check in, has to check out, and will leave the hotel. And that is the process for all your guests.
And we'll write a review after.
And you write a review afterwards, of course. But every guest goes to the same funnel. And because it's all the same for all guests, you can apply AI to a very specific use case, which is the guest sleeping in a hotel. So the guest has to do all those things in the journey. And besides that, they want to enrich their stay or their trip by either questions, upsells, etc., etc., etc. Hence, hospitality is one of the industries that will be impacted most.
Yeah. I totally agree. And as I said, I would like to move on with the conversation really on discussing what the impact of AI is on guest experience. And to do so and to maybe put a bit of a critical note to it, I would like to share a very personal experience. Last week, ITB, a lot of people were there, right? So we all traveled from Berlin back to Amsterdam. And I decided to extend my stay a bit. And, well, bleisure is a new concept, we all know it. So I went for a fully digital concept. I'm not going to reveal the name of where I stayed. It went super smooth, right? So digital check-in, I got my code for the room, for the front door, everything super smooth. So we went into the room, and what can destroy a very nice experience? The fire alarm went off. Okay, fully digital concept, no reception, no person to talk to, no clear instructions where to go. So, now yeah, we were the fellow guests in that property. We all decided, okay, we'll just go on the street, somewhere in Berlin city center. Fire brigade comes, and I'm texting with a WhatsApp channel. Yeah, sorry, here's a fire alarm. What shall we do? Automated message. To help you out, we first need your booking reference. Yeah. So you can imagine what that does to you, and I'm in tech innovation, so I was relatively relaxed. But what is your take on that, the guys that develop these solutions? And how far, and that's a very critical remark, of course, but to spike up the discussion, but how far can those solutions enhance guest experience on the one hand side, but also make sure that in those situations we still have the touch point and the connection with the guests that we need?
Well, I mean, this is obviously a fatal, I mean, this is not a nice experience.
There was a false alarm in the end, so everything was fine, but yeah.
But I think to that point, you know, we put everything in one basket usually. What is the guest experience to be look like? And it is very different for an experience which is an apartment type of residence than a luxury villa and it's my annual vacation versus I just need a room for the night, or I'm staying with a couple of friends in a hostel type of environment. The customer experience is very different. So I think you got to differentiate these points. I mean, obviously, if it's fire, life, and safety, then necessarily it's not the best idea to use the systems when it doesn't work. But when it comes to defining a customer experience, I'm always perplexed to say the argumentation is always like there's only one kind of customer experience, and it's not. So I think many operators I see, they're confused about their brand experience. What should it be, right? And the argumentation about should it be all automated or not automated, that's more a societal question, what is the pain point, friction, etc. But it depends, again, with whom I'm traveling, why I'm traveling in the first place, and for how long am I traveling. Maybe the check-in process can be long. If I'm going to the beautiful resort and I've just arrived, etc., that's a whole thing, different check-in experience I want than just coming to Amsterdam for the show, late night, just give me the key, leave me alone, make it as frictionless as possible. And I think we got to be clear about our customer experience journey as hotel operators, and then we better know where we can use the stuff and technology. Where should we automate, back end anyways, but where should we automate in front end with the customer journey? Where can we use AI? And that's actually coming back to customer experiences. I think that's for me, if you're clear about that, you will be clear about how to use the technology.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in a sort of, especially we are active in boutique hotels and more, say, in the upper end of the market, and I'm a firm believer in a high-tech, high-touch approach, whereby you use basically everything you can automate to enable your staff to provide the ultimate guest experience, and just by removing all the sort of the monotonous and repetitive tasks, and do it with all processes with computers in the group, but keep humans in the loop, because if you otherwise you will get your experience, and that sounds very Orwellian to me.
Yeah.
So
Michiel.
how we solve this? If you would send us, hey, there is something happening, we know who you are, first of all. Secondly, we inform automatically the front office or the hotel or the staff, whoever is at the hotel. And that is done all automatically. So we don't ask for a booking number or your name, etc., etc., because it's more than only text, right? You also sometimes have to have actions in the conversation, which has to be seamless, and that is handed over to your staff then, and the staff can then immediately act upon it.
All right.
Because indeed there is AI to automate things, but you are working in hospitality. And then in hospitality, of course, there's always the team who can take care of all the rest that is not automated.
So the human touch tech balance, so to say, keeping humans in the loop, you said. Very, very important aspects in that sense. I want to continue the discussion, and we won't go into the technical details, but most of the AI models, they are, of course, based on large data sets, and they are basically calculating probabilities, what comes next. So in preparation also and in discussion with a lot of industry experts, we were discussing in how far can you then, when you build on artificial intelligence, actually deliver outstanding guest experience when you always look for what is most likely to come next. Do you have any thoughts on that? How AI can deliver, say, memorable, exceptional guest experience and not only support and make like the boring stuff automated? Is there also an angle to it and to make experiences really memorable, exceptional, outstanding, not the average?
So I think it starts with automating the admin work, right? Because that's not a great experience. So FAQ, request, upsells, check-in, check-out, digital keys, payments, it's all done, and from that point on, it's the thing that we try to solve is how do we bring the right information to the right guest at the right time in the guest journey. And once you solve that, either with the information about the guest in the PPMS or in the CRM, then you bring that towards the guest, and then I think you deliver a great experience for the guest. But it already starts with automating the things that you can automate right now. So what we see happening is that the majority of all guests says that we have enhanced their stay already, and we are only about to start. So that's really cool.
All right, Markus.
Well,
thanks.
The way how we use it is, I can only talk about how we use it as a practical example. We use it we replaced traditional booking engines, for example, with the sales engine, right? So let's say you want to make a purchase at a hotel, and then there's some data which we already know from you. Basically, if you know the IP address, we know if it's a long haul or short haul. We know how many people are traveling, are you arriving on a Tuesday, Wednesday, all these data points. And we can use it in real time to then suggest, and there's obviously an aspect of selling to that as well, because many customers don't know what they want. They don't know what they want, right? They come there, oh, I don't know, whatever, just make a booking, leave me alone. You never know that. But we can use that kind of attitude and sales tactics to really display interesting products in real time. And then we can use sales tactics as saying, other people who arrived on a Tuesday, the Amazon thing, right? It always works. Other people who arrived on a Tuesday, they like the high floor away from the elevator. Do you want that as well? And that sells. And obviously, there's a component of machine learning and recommendation models behind it, but there's a component of sales, just smart sales practices. And I think that's how we use it. And then the real-time behavior, oh, I clicked on I like pool views, or I like this. Then the next element is another data point you capture. You can use it in real time to make more relevant options, what you think, or the AI learns, the learning, make more relevant options for the customer to make a sale. I mean, that's how we use it in real time to make use of it. But as I said, it's not just the one ultimate tool, it's AI. It's a lot of components. It's also labeling. Labeling, we use it as well. The large language models come into play, right? I never had, because you need to emotional names when you sell things work better. We have some studies with universities, they just work better. But if you think about emotional names all the time, you go nuts. So there, ChatGPT and all these kind of things are very handy to get some ideas also in real time to label your products in a different way. And I think that's where it helps a lot.
Yeah. Willem-jan, do you have thoughts on delivering exceptional experiences?
I think first of all, let's bring then the human element in this, because if AI makes sure that all the touch points in your guest journey that are boring, repetitive, or irritating, if you can remove them from the guest journey and then basically create what the time that you gain with this to create really a personalized guest experience, I think then you get the best of both worlds, and I think we're there now. But people are obviously very enthusiastic about all the technical possibilities of AI, but we're actually just at the very beginning. But it also will take a bit longer than people think to really to really see the vast change that we will see in the industry. The former panel, I heard thoughts about basically revenue management, where in time maybe the computer will make all the strategic decisions on that. But that's not something that's going to happen next year. That will be 5 years down the road, or maybe even 10 years down the road.
I think it's a very nice bridge to the next topic, so to say, a question that we wanted to discuss, and how far AI and your solutions and your thoughts and what we just discussed has an impact on operational efficiency. So how can automation make things more easy, more efficient, and also thereby impact, so to say, the future of jobs in our industry? And just, I don't know if all of you know that, but there are studies from the Harvard University that compared consultants without ChatGPT and with ChatGPT, and they had multiple scenarios, and they basically found out that as soon as you give knowledge workers a ChatGPT as a tool, as an assistant, they perform 40% better than the people without ChatGPT. So that also means for us, we are an education institution, we need to, of course, facilitate and equip our students with ChatGPT so that they come up with cooler stuff, right? So that's learning for us. Same thing is, I just looked and I saw it, the Pulitzer Journalism Prize. It's a very prestigious prize for journalistic art, so to say, and pieces. And there, basically, almost all entries in the short list had some AI component to it. So the journalist used some kind of AI to basically be on top of these prestigious lists. Well, these are other industries, and you already said hospitality will be one of the industries that will be affected most. So my question is then, in how far does AI, the diffusion of AI in our industry, affect jobs in the hospitality industry? Very broad question, but I'm sure everyone has thoughts on that. Willem-jan, do you have thoughts on?
There's obviously various layers in this. I think it will impact obviously everything that has to do with back office, but also marketing functions and revenue management, but also obviously efficiencies in all operational departments. And I don't see too much the future in, for instance, robotics. I don't think that will be the great impact. I think you will still have somebody serving at your table or somebody greeting you as a host, but they will have so much of their mundane tasks removed that you will need far less of them, and basically that will affect every department. And it will also not only affect every department, it will also have changed the way these jobs have to be executed and the way of thinking. And this is not an industry that is at this point very data driven. It's more, and that has to change, obviously.
Yeah.
I started when I was younger. I had my job in a hotel, and I stopped it because I was only doing admin work all day, right? I did my studies. I wanted to do cool things, and I stopped to work in a hotel because I was doing all the same things every day, again and again and again and again. And all these things now can be automated, right? With ease. Which means that the workforce in hospitality can do why they work in hospitality, is bringing the experience that you want to have towards the guest by spending time with them, asking the questions which are not boring, etc., etc. And that's also what we hear back from the hotels that we work with right now, is that we reduce 3/4 of the inbound by email and phone and at the front desk. So the hotels can now really take care of the guest and making sure that they have a great time while sleeping in their hotels.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity because it makes the work more meaningful, right? I mean, why should you start a career in a hotel? It's not very, promising if you have this repetitive tasks, etc. So, and now you can have jobs which are much more meaningful because all the stupid repetitive stuff is gone, and you can, have more creative things. That's what we see as well with our clients. I mean, it's basically they automate stuff, right? All the stupid things, but now they can get either they like to deal with people, or can talk to more customers, or they can get more creative, or whatever their kind of thing is. And we see that, it's much more fulfilling, the job. You can pay these people more money. And it's a win-win for all, in my view. So it definitely is a big opportunity for getting more skilled workforce, more meaningful jobs, and winning back talent for this industry.
But I think what's really important here is that you now can automate the things that you want to automate, right? Some things maybe you don't want to automate, which is also fine. And that's really depending on how you want to operate your hotel. The only thing is that now you have the opportunity to automate those things, right? Which is helping you out in your operational efficiency big time, I guess. And it starts with the communication with the guest, but it also starts with chargebacks from credit cards, which now can be automated, etc., etc. So there are many things that you can do nowadays. Yeah.
I totally agree. So and I'm also totally a tech optimist when it comes to what is all possible. But maybe also from an industry perspective now, how do you make a decision? How do you come to this decision, this is something that I should automate, or this is something, this is a process that I should better be, keep the human element in that touch point, in that process. Willem-jan.
Yes, I would hope that these decisions would not be made by sort of efficiency and cost-saving parameters, but that you would as an industry basically look at automating these processes that enhance the guest experience and enables you to I'm not a tech optimist, I'm a sort of a people optimist. where it enables your staff to be more focused on delivering the best guest experience, and and I think that should be the ultimate sort of decider. Automate what you can automate without basically preferably enhancing the guest experience, but at least making sure that it doesn't sort of dilute your guest experience, like your experience you recounted. And don't automate these tasks that require basically the personal contact with your guest.
And you add on this, it's very important to experiment. Now, if you don't do it, you don't know what the impact is. And I've been working with hotels for a very long time, and the hotel operations is extremely important, right, for every hotel. But we all have to experiment new things and learn how it impacts the guest experience, the operations, the top line of a hotel, etc., etc. And when you experiment, then you learn, and then you also know where you want to apply it, where you don't want to apply it, and then you can optimize from there. But it's extremely important that we start with something. Otherwise, we don't learn, we don't innovate, and then we are the dinosaur, right? At a certain stage. And that's not the place where we want to be, I think.
Well, maybe we should learn from 20 years ago where the big disruptors were OTAs. And where we basically, our industry basically got played by the tech industry. Let's not make the same mistake again. Let's sort of innovate from within.
Well,
absolutely.
We're in a good way though. But I think the starting point has to be the customer experience and what you stand for, and who's your target group, and what's your purpose, basically. That should be your starting point. And yes, you have to trial. I mean, the world is very complex, especially with all this AI. And for us, it's always, you need to have a safe, fail environment, and you need to test and probe and learn. I would agree with this, because that's, you don't know what you don't know. No. And you have to experience it yourself, and you will make new learnings. But I think start with your, don't go with the hype. I mean, I hate this hype stuff. We always have this discussion, this is a good tool, and this is the latest thing. This is really not important. It's important what you want to do. What's your vision for your customer experience? What's your vision for your people? Why are you doing this thing? And then choose the best tools. But yes, you have to try stuff, and I think that's is very important.
So. But I think the word hype, there's no hype anymore, right? So it is here, it is happening, and we now need to jump on the train and to make it happen. And I think what we need to keep in mind as well is that, again, to go back to experimentation, is that the projects are not that big, right? So, for example, with us, you can be onboarded in half an hour, and boom, off you go. And from there, you can optimize and you can experiment further. So it's very easy way to get started, right? So there are no long week onboarding happening anymore.
But there's a lot of fear. I mean, I know this. The onboarding for us is also easy. That's the beauty of AI, basically, right? You just onboard, everything is automated. But then, will I lose my job? What is happening with this? And then all this fear is change management. And I think there's a component of change management, which an element why people maybe are hesitant sometimes to try these things.
Thanks for the insight. That's a perfect bridge to the to what I also promised, that we would discuss some of the cases and the experiments that you already carried out in the industry, and the success cases, so to say, that you might want to share, and maybe also some insights from cases, experiments that you came across.
Well,
let's focus on the successes first, and then discuss, say, the drawbacks and the barriers that you experienced in your contacts and in your projects as well. But I would like to start off with something positive. So, whoever wants to share some positive success stories.
Just to claw back on what the other gentleman just said, what I think. If you compare it for sort of made the comparison to the disruption by OTAs 20 years ago, the main difference here is that if for instance you in your hotel, and the vendors are here obviously, you have a good open API PMS. Most of them have thousands of applications that can be integrated within. You said half an hour? Well, maybe not all half an hour, but it means that it's absolutely true that you can experiment and build a tech stack that is completely basically tailor-made to your needs
Yeah.
in your properties. And if it doesn't work, you throw it out and you take another.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
It's
You have to prove the, of you have to see the value instantly, right? Otherwise, you move on and you go to the next one.
Michiel, some of the successes, like what are successful outcomes of some of the projects that you carried out?
Yeah, so we have onboarded almost 200 hotels now over the last year on our platform, and the guest engagement. So more than half of the guests that we send something is actively engaging with our chat. And what we see happening is when we invest in the quality of the conversation, the length of the conversation increases instantly. Then the feedback from hotels, right? So hotels, so the guests go to the front office and they say, well, I just spoke with somebody from your team. And it was the AI. Then the hotel owner, they tell us, well, actually, the quality of the conversation of you guys is higher than for my team because you speak all kinds of languages. You speak Dutch, you speak German, blah, blah, blah. You don't make, or you don't say weird things, right? Which makes the guests very happy and also the hotel very happy. And that's what it is all about in the end.
So guest engagement increased.
Yeah.
Some success stories.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we actually see it with all the customers we have. It's pretty much the three things. So the first is we shift business from OTAs to direct because of they can offer something nobody else can offer. Because through OTAs you sell your categories and stuff like this, and directly you can sell personalized and very different, like the Amazon way, etc. So you definitely get more. You increase your conversion. So you make more money immediately, that's for sure. And then on the other side, you also automate more and you improve your customer experiences. So we see net promoter scores come up because you manage the guest expectations, better guest expectation management, right? If you expect something and you don't get it, you have a negative experience, whatever it is. It could be luxury or low cost, but if you know it and you have that expectation is met, then it's okay, right? So we do have some great success stories, and one of the learnings, for example, we always were shy to do it. Coming from a hotel, we always have this, we call it brooms, right? So the shitty rooms, the ones you don't want to sell, and you always have complaints. And we said, oh, how do you want to call these rooms? And we don't want to really sell them, and we leave them away, and the last person is unlucky, he gets that room. Yeah. And now we turned this around, and we said, all right, we labeled it under the label lowest price, and you book it and say, here's a room, small, facing the street, lowest price. Next to it, room quietly located, compared to different products, and customer scores went up, and people bought it, but with the expectation, it's a shitty room, but I'm buying it because it's budget. Why? I don't care. I'm an in and out. I don't care about it facing to the street. And it's all about guest expectation management. And that's something we learned by displaying rooms in a different way on experiences. So that's a big learning. So really shift of distribution, higher average rates, and automation of the whole reservation process.
Yeah. And then that also still links back to, again, connecting the human intelligence, the human sales technique, so to say, that
absolutely.
You apply, and then combine it with the technology opportunities that you have at hand.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how you set expectations as well, right? I mean, social proof, for example, is nothing else than a sales tactic, which works, right? Other people who came on a Tuesday like this. Other people who bought this book, bought that book. And you think like, oh, great, you feel already good about it because you're reinforced by that social proof element, which is nothing to do with AI, but it's got to be smart, which is, it's got to work. I mean, that's where AI plays. It doesn't work if you say, guest favorite, my deluxe room, or something like that. It doesn't work like that. It has to be other people, or guest favorite, deluxe room with access to the garden.
Willem-jan, do you have success stories, cases?
I have nothing to sell. That's the difference.
That's why I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, sorry. No. We commented.
No, but if you look at sort of from a hotel operator's perspective, basically these success stories are basically the incremental use of AI that you see basically now in every hotel. So the success is also the sort of piece by piece. What I'm ask me in 1 year, because we're now busy basically developing a complete new tech stack for our hotels that we're experimenting in a new hotel we're building in the center of Amsterdam. And where I have high expectations, but no results yet. So that's because it's not open yet.
With a bit an eye of on the time, we do have the opportunity, and I have a good contact here, who has a use case how to use AI for reservations. And I'm looking at Uli standing there. He will be around, so if there are people, because there will be a break afterwards, who want to really first-hand experience what AI can bring to innovate reservation processes, please stick around. We can have a look and you can experience that firsthand. It's brand new. We just discussed it and discovered that two brilliant guys from Berlin, I think that program that we only knows them, we met them at ITB. So if there are people that want to experiment that, please stick around. I would like to close off this discussion.
And then also, if I may as well, then also,
all right,
if you want to experiment our product, you know, then also please visit our booth.
Now we are really in the sales pitches.
Just over there. Yeah,
it's not only.
You have started with sales pitches.
It's not all these projects. I don't get any commission. I'm a poor academic.
Okay. I'm not saying anything.
I would like to round off this discussion by just your final thoughts on how AI is revolutionizing the industry. Final thoughts, final round from your perspective. Who wants to start?
I think it's a very good question. I think it's already said, right? So hospitality, the product is your room. Everything around that is the customer service. One thing that's being solved by AI is the customer service. So it's going to happen with everything. Admin work, not only FAQ, right? So the value nowadays is the conversation. I ask a question, I get an answer. The future value is the functionalities that you can do in the conversation. So automating tasks, automating your, I don't know, your check-in, the payments, the digital keys, upsells, etc. That's where we are heading towards to, and it is going to happen. Yeah. It's already happening.
Yeah. Well, I think hospitality is not a room. It's a bit more than that. So
a hotel, sorry.
Every hotel usually has rooms.
Every hotel has a room, and around it there's a lot of customer service.
But I think that basically our industry is transforming into what we're selling is experiences, and tailor-made and personalized and unique experience will be the differentiator in our industry, and AI will make that more easily achievable. Yeah. And I think that's the revolution.
Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. It's about selling. I mean, first of all, finally we can sell experiences because we're not selling experiences, right? We're selling room categories and standard, every fixed stuff. I mean, that's why the OTA. I mean, there's no difference to book through an OTA or directly on a website from a hotel. So it will revolutionize pricing. Right, pricing is a key. That's very, very interesting component, and will help us with the entire distribution and with the entire promotion, marketing, communication. I mean, it will help us in all 4 areas of ultimately marketing. It will change.
Wow! Thanks so much for this enlightening discussion and sharing your thoughts on how AI is revolutionizing the industry. I'm sure that you'll stick around a bit if there are questions, comments from the audience. Other than that, thank you very much for being here and for staying with us this afternoon, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks.